Hi everybody, my name's Kenny Luck, and I've been working with men for over 25 years in the local church. Your church has decided to adopt the sleeping giant process with your men. And I just want to give you a little bit of the background and what the process is that men will be experiencing in your church. The reason why I came up with the sleeping giant process is that the church needs its men activated toward the mission and vision of the local pastor and of the local church. Now, I know that the church has its women, and thank God for them. They have been waiting patiently for the sleeping giant, the men in the church, to activate and join them as full partners in volunteering and serving and advancing the mission of the church. And that's really what the sleeping giant is. It's not a unique focus for the men, it's just giving them the balance and leadership and position so that together, men and women in the church can move the kingdom of God forward in your local context. Now, why did I do it? Well, there's 2.1 billion Christians in the world. That means that there's 500 to 700 million Christian affiliated men. And the reason I came up with the sleeping giant concept is we want to awaken those affiliated men and take them from being just affiliated to activated. We want to take those men sitting in the church from being in the audience to the army. And in order to do that, you have to provide a strong vision, a strong process, a strong pathway that creates strong results for men and that provide meaning and context for the men in the church. And so that's what your church has decided to do. And so let me tell you what the sleeping giant process is. It's very simple, and you can remember it in 4 words. In, healthy, strong, and going. That's what the sleeping giant process helps men in the community and in the congregation do. The first step is just to get in. Get into relationship with God and get connected to some other men. Now, why is that important? Because men become men in the company of other men. So in your group structure, in your Sunday school, your small group structure, men are going to be encouraged to get in and get connected, okay, to God and to other men, because when they are connected to other men, they can talk about all of the issues that are unique to men. The second step in the sleeping giant process is get healthy. We don't want men to just come in and get connected and just have the fellowship piece, but we want them to get healthy relationally. We want them to get healthy in their marriage. We want them to get healthy in their family. And we want them to get healthy in their moral life. That's what the Bible calls for when it comes for leadership development. So those are the first 2 steps: get in and then get healthy. And then the third phase of the sleeping giant process in your church is purpose to get men strong. Okay, what does that mean? It means that they develop spiritual disciplines and they develop spiritual commitments. They learn how to be like Christ. They learn how to conquer faith. They learn how to do spiritual warfare. They understand what their relationship with God's Spirit is. And they move into ministry somewhere into the local church. So there's get in, there's get healthy, there's get strong, and then the end game of the sleeping giant process is to get these men of your church going into their personal expressions of leadership and ministry and mission back in the community, back in the world, and back throughout your church. And that's the exciting part, is when you wake the sleeping giant in a church congregation, when the men take up their post. The church needs them to take up their post. The church wants them to take up their post. Then together, everybody working together, we experience a move of God as men transform, as men get strong, and as men get moving to influence. So I just wanted to give you a little heads up on what's going on. I'm really excited for your men's core team. I'm excited for your pastor, that he's going to get some muscle for the mission that God has called him to do. And then I'm excited for the health, the spiritual health that's going to happen in relationships, in families, in marriages as your men get in, get healthy, get strong, and get going. thank you for initiating the Sleeping Giant movement in your church, and I hope that you experience the blessing that comes from waking the sleeping giant.